All right, welcome back to Sports Smarts. Today we're going to be looking at another article, this time from an Asian news site, Nikkei. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'll link the article down in the description if you want to read the full article. But we're going to be going over 5 rules that they think should be added to the Olympics to help the sport. As we talked about in the last few videos, the Olympics are very dark. They have a lot more cons than pros, or the cons overwhelmingly outweigh the pros. It's a very controversial system that we currently live under for the Olympics Games, and I think it should be changed. So we're going to be looking at these 5 rules. I'm going to go through all of them, give my opinions quickly, and try to make the video a little bit less long because I think the last 2 videos have been a little bit too long. So let's begin. First, reinstate a rule to semi-amateur athletes. Yes, I think that an athlete that is competing in soccer on the FIFA World Cup level should not be forced to also play in the Olympics and maybe get injured, ruining their chance to compete in FIFA and just beat up a bunch of people in South Africa that may not have ever played on a football course. I'm just using South Africa as an example. Let's say maybe a country like Nigeria or Kenya, or even countries that don't really play soccer that much. I think in the Caribbean, like Trinidad and Tobago. I think Jamaica plays soccer, but El Salvador, I don't think they do that much. So I think professional athletes, I'm saying this, in football, soccer matches in the Olympics, we shouldn't have Lionel Messi just coming in and just soloing the entire games and getting a short and sweet win and swamping every single team. I think he should be saved for the real deal, which is the FIFA World Cup. Let some semi-amateur athletes take the chance. I think we don't need a cap on age, but we need a cap that any athlete earning a certain amount of money or is competing at a certain level of talent should not be in the Olympics, because we want to see competitive games. We don't want of people who are trying to make a name for themselves, not people who have already made a name for themselves and others in their country professionally, and coming in to just beat up a bunch of people who are just trying to make a name for themselves together. The greatest example of this is LeBron James playing in the U.S. basketball team for the Olympics. The dude is literally almost a multi-millionaire playing against people who barely earn $10 in revenue, in their country's revenue compared to the U.S. in their whole entire lives. We shouldn't have LeBron James just dunking on people from Kenya who don't play basketball professionally like he does. Okay? It's just not fun to watch. It's just kind of stupid. I don't really like LeBron in general, but I'm just using it as an example because it's happening right now and it's not fun to watch. And Lionel Messi, I think he's doing a pretty good thing by saying he doesn't want to compete in the Olympics, because I think it's not because I think he just wants to focus on FIFA right now because that's his playhouse right now. And I think deep down, I really hope he believes, like I do, that you don't want to just go in there and just ruin a bunch of poor country athletes by swamping them in a game because you're the best in the world. Alright, second, stop adding sports that only wealthy can play. I think this is good. I don't think golf should be in the Olympics, or if it should be mini golf or something that people don't really, just don't make a game that's you need to have I think that's why auto racing will not come to the Olympics, because you need millions of dollars to race in any auto series. But swimming is definitely is the culprit here. They have almost 100 medals in Olympic swimming, and they're all only claimed by 23 countries that were not in the West. So yeah, that's 23. So it's 108. That's 88 medals that went to countries in the West to the 23 in the non-Western countries. And Western countries are just Europe, the US, Canada, Mexico, somewhat, and Australia. So yeah, it's not competitive for anything that's outside of those areas. So I mean, swimming, I'm not going to knock it because my mom likes it, but I'm just saying, maybe, as we'll talk about later, maybe pull some countries. I actually think for the third one, throw one down here. Why not include more sports that are popular in other countries? I think, as we'll get to later in the video, when we eventually replace the ICU because they're a garbage organization, I think we should make it so it's like the UN in some way, where every single country that participates in the Olympics votes on it. And you have to get a majority of the votes in order to make it a sport. And I think that would work out because the Western countries do not make up the majority of the countries that compete in the Olympics. So they gotta do some negotiation while the other countries to get swimming into the Olympics. I don't think swimming should be taken off the Olympics. I don't think any sport in the Olympics besides golf deserves to be taken off, the Olympics. The only reason why I say golf is because it's too much of a fancy sport. I don't even think any African countries in general play golf. So that's an entire continent that doesn't even know what golf is. Or knows what it is, but has never played it in their life. South America as well. And also most of Asia doesn't play golf either. I think it's just like a European and kind of just Northern European sport. And US. So I mean, well, I guess Tiger Woods is from South Africa. So South Africa is the only country in Africa. Maybe Kenya and Nigeria. But you know what I'm saying. It should be a democratic thing. They put the sport up, and then all the countries vote on it, and if it gets a majority of the vote, then it becomes a sport. And there can't be any like veto power from the US that's like, we solo everything. Any sport we want. If we want NASCAR to be in the Olympics, we say it's going to be in the Olympics. If we want competitive wood chucking or competitive shooting, if we want an airsoft mode battle royale game to be in the Olympics, we will put it in to the Olympics, and you guys can all suck rocks. No, there shouldn't be any veto power. No country should be above anybody else. All right, let's get on to fourth special category for medals for migrants. I think it's because of U.S. And I think Germany and China as well. They basically poach athletes from disadvantaged nations to be for their team. I think that should be banned. I'm sorry, but you should be banned for doing that. Think about if the U.S. bought Usain Bolt, took him from Jamaica, and made him be on Team USA. Now, he wouldn't agree to that, but if it did happen, that's overpowered. Should be banned. End of story. Shouldn't be poaching athletes. If you're born somewhere, you fight for that country. Now, if you're a refugee, there is a refugee special category for refugees, and obviously if you're a refugee, you can be in that category. You don't have to fight for the authoritarian dictatorship that you're running away from that wants you dead. No, you don't do that. And finally, time to get rid of the IOC. The IOC, the International Olympic Committee, gone. Take them out. No one likes them. They have just completely destroyed the Olympics. From Rio, bulldozing all those poor neighborhoods and making people be homeless instead of, building the stadium somewhere else. They just make it so that 16 nations control the entirety of the world in terms of the Olympics. No, screw them. Get them away. Make it so that it's a democratic organization like the UN, where everyone has one vote for each country. Economically disadvantaged countries are accommodated, and wealthy nations cannot solely make the rules. I think that's what should happen. But anyway, that's going to be doing for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it, and I'll see you guys next video. Toodaloo, have a blessed day.